So Nikhil, how do you think can a student or an AI/ML engineer stand out in this field?
Sure. To stand out in the field of AI or data science in general, if you're just starting,
Mhm.
I guess it's important to build your portfolio in a sense to show it to your going to be recruiters
Right.
that you have your basics clear,
Mhm.
of course, which you can prove through the courses that you have taken and passed either in your undergrad or your masters.
Mhm.
Following that, a will to show that you have the right mindset to learn and grow in the particular field or what the business requirements are.
Mhm.
And the third and foremost thing is that you build a portfolio for your own confidence through projects and internships that even we touched earlier.
Right.
There are multiple ways of learning, and if you have done some projects which are relevant to the particular business that you're applying with,
Right.
or maybe you would have done something in your internship which relates to the same or translates to the same,
Mhm.
it could help you find a better position for yourself.
Right.
It particularly helped me.
Mhm.
I guess I touched various amount of various areas of concern,
Mhm.
be it something related to healthcare, something related to vision, something related to natural language processing, something related to production,
Right.
and a combination of all 4 or 5 things of out of them
Mhm.
helped me show that hey, I have the right set of skills to transition into the particular roles that I looked for,
Mhm.
and luckily that helped me. Of course,
Okay.
luck is never a thing that I believe in,
Okay.
but some of the other good wishes from here and there
Mhm.
helped me to reach out to those things.
Okay.
Important is that you should have things in your plate to showcase to you're going to be recruiters, that
Right.
you have the right set of skills in the area of concern that
Mhm.
they require your expertise in.
Right. So I know that you have a blog on Medium where you like regularly write technical articles on
Right.
AI, ML, and what's happening in the industry right now. So would you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I have a Medium channel by the name Lee Verma. You will
I'll
ping
put
it
that
here
in
or
the
there.
description below. You can
Yes,
check it out. Yeah.
sure. So that was just starting back in 2019
Mhm.
when I started my career as a software engineer back in India.
Mhm.
That was the time when I started writing or actually started documenting the things with myself,
Right.
just for me to remember, okay, I learned this,
Mhm.
and this is something, a way to document the things with myself for my own learning later on,
Mhm.
and maybe to share it with others that what I learned.
Right.
So I follow this mantra called knowledge shared is knowledge squared,
Uh-huh.
which I feel is meaningful. If you learn something, maybe you can express it to others or
Right.
share with others, for others to learn the way you have learned it or the way you want to put it. You can express your ideas, which was the only main reason for me to start writing on Medium.
Mhm.
And it's just a matter of fact that I maintained the consistency of writing on that channel
Right.
every month, I would say,
Mhm.
from starting from 2020 Jan till the time we are in, and hopefully it continues later and translates as well, which helped me grow a community of learners uh, in the particular area of interest that I have and
Mhm.
others do share.
Right.
So if one visit the channel, you will see multiple areas of concern that I have touched. So I recently transitioned to AI research field, so
Mhm.
something on that sort, something on generative modeling side. Before that, I have something on basic machine learning stuff, basic how to transition into the field of data science, and
Right.
before that, things on how to deploy machine learning in production system. So good engineering practices, how to
Right.
be a good developer, or some learnings of Docker and Kubernetes. So things of that sort, I just documented it
Mhm.
with myself, which others could also look and learn from.
That's such a great vision and initiative, I would say. So Do you think like that helped you stand out? I think it definitely does, right? Like having a portfolio or like a set of articles that way.
Sure. So you could see writing like uh, this is the kind of content creation that I'm doing on the way it's possible and feasible for me, or the best way I think I could, and to contribute in the knowledge economy of this planet. There are multiple other ways. Even shooting a YouTube video is one other way. It definitely helped me to showcase that, hey, I do have these particular skills, or these particular learnings, at least from my past, which I could use later with the employer that I'll be working in.
Right.
It explicitly helped me in interviews as well, where I showed them if I got an interview call, I just used to mention it, or send the message that, hey, this is a blog I've written around it. This is
Right.
my learning, and that at times people liked. Most of the people liked it, and I'm not surprised. I wasn't surprised when at the end of one particular interview, I got to hear it from the director of the lab particularly, that, hey, your blogs are very interesting, and this is the main reason that even we want to build an arm like that,
Right.
where we are at least showing out what we are doing,
Right.
and we really like the way you present the content to the audience.
Right.
So that motivated a little more of me to be active on the platform, and keep on sharing, or keep on being indulged in these things. Apart from that, if you're just shooting a cold email to say the professor of a university, or to be a former employer of yours, that hey, you're interested in that field,
Right.
cold emailing, at least for me, it helped at times. And in the cold email, if it's just you blabbering about yourself, that's good. But if you could show something concrete,
Right.
that's other way you can assure them you have worked in the field, and you learned something from it.
Yeah. That's actually true. Even in the previous company where I was working, they saw my portfolio that I had written some blogs, and they were like, even we want to get our hands into it, we want to publish. And basically, it's like usually businesses think that it's a great way to get like-minded technical people, because once they see, oh, these are the things or these are the technologies that this company or this startup works on, they also like to join that company. So I think, yeah.
Yes. Another thing is, if we translate this to the particular field of research, what's the best way of showing that you have hands-on or you have good research skills is to show that, hey, you have these list of articles that you have published,
Right.
or those were accepted in some good venues. But the acceptance rate of these good venues, or the A star or A plus conferences, is very little. 9%, 10%, 20, or max to max 25%.
Right.
Out of the long list of articles that every year in every conference that comes to them.
Right.
So the chances of success of you showing your work just through those accepted articles decrease a little. But just a non-formal way of documenting your knowledge, I guess, is blogging.
Right.
So blogs could help you there.
It's like 100% acceptance rate. Yeah.
There's no one who's going to judge you or gonna accept or reject it.
Right.
It's in your hand.
Right.
It's just that what you want to split on the paper, you can.
Right. As a part of the MScAC program, you worked at LG AI for 8 months as a research intern. So would you care to talk a little bit about the project that you worked on?
Yeah, sure. So as a part of my 8 months internship, which ended just in December of last year, I was working at LG as an AI research intern itself, where most of my responsibilities were to create some knowledge economy for LG itself, the lab itself, and I was mostly working on the field of generative modeling in general. There are few state-of-the-art work which is happening over here. I'm pretty sure DALL-E, Imagine, Putty kind or Glide kind of things are very common to hear if you're up to in the field of research. In particularly in the multimodality and vision modality. So that's something that I was learning at how we can use particularly generative modeling to create something novel out of the content that we can learn from.
Right.
So if one's aware of diffusion models, which are hype of the town as of now, is something that even I was working and learning about the dynamics of how that modeling framework works.
Right.
Of course, as I said earlier, AI is not something new that just originated after 2014 or 15 and the ecosystem started. It's something which we are carrying from way back as 1950 or maybe earlier than that.
Right.
The Occam razor principle dates back to 12th or 13th century even. So similar goes with diffusion modeling. The basics were laid down in the field back in 2014 and 15. It has seen a winter when no one cared about it, and back in 2020 or 21, I guess, when OpenAI started talking or started putting emphasis on this particular technology and started improving it for doing generative art.
Right.
So that was the time when the world see a potential in it. And right now it's stable diffusion and kind of companies are overshining their muscles by reflecting what they have learned and open sourcing the things to the world.
Right. So for those who are trying to get into the field of AI, ML or data science, like what are some of the study materials that you would recommend?
Sure. There are lots of materials here and there floating on the net as of now, which is the best thing. This was not the liberty if you see maybe a decade or 5 years back. The penetration of internet wasn't so much so in our economies or in the world in general. But this time there are plethora of resources you could learn from, be it YouTube, be it blogging, or be it the web itself, and more and more things going open source. Even the latest technology that comes in, maybe the next day there will be some open source thing for the same for people to use and try it. So the resources that I will suggest, that I particularly follow, is to learn a lot from YouTube. And I'm also a religious follower of some books, which is like Ian Goodfellow's book on deep learning. He's an MIT guy. I guess he's a professor there. I follow his this particular book on deep learning. Following that, I do follow some YouTube courses, YouTube channels particularly, which I'll come at. Apart from that, one very basic book, if you want to get started in the field, is Pattern Recognition by Bishop. So that's another good material if you want to get started in the field. And there are endless websites or blogs that you can learn from. You don't have to rely on a teacher to teach you things for your learning to grow. You can just do a simple Google search and multiple Medium blogs or normal channels will come in front of you, which can give you the answers you want just in a minute or so. But the question is that how much power you put into your questions to take the answers from web. Web has everything available, but you have to put the effort of phrasing your questions in a way that it could give you the best answers. Coming to the YouTube channels that I particularly follow are the AI Affinity is the one. Another is the Miss Coffee Bean Latte, and following that there are a couple of other one. Krish Nayak from India is the one, and also Josh Murray He's a professor at University of South Chapel Hill.
Okay.
So I follow his channel a lot. StatQuest particularly.
Josh Stammer, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, so these are three of 4-5 common channels that I usually follow. Apart from that, it's just the power of words that you can put into your question that can give you a relevant result from a Google or a YouTube search.
Right. So how important do you think is a master's or a PhD degree to get into the field of AI/ML or to establish like a presence in the market?
Sure. This is really an interesting question because this is the question which even I usually used to ask back when I was in my bachelor's, and even now to some of my seniors or people working in the field for a while, that how important is to have a degree in particularly say data science or a master's degree or particularly say to be a business analyst or be into the field of research.
Right.
Is it really important that I have to complete the whole stack of completing a bachelor's, then a master's, then a PhD only then I could contribute into the research? Well, not to my surprise, this is not the dynamics of the world as of now.
Okay.
And then people are open if you have a mindset which is more oriented towards learning. It's in your hand that how well you can learn and present those skills and convince your going to be employers that yes, you can show the positive results. At least that helped for me. Going to I didn't see a meaning in wasting time till 30 of your age just to start contributing to complete a PhD and then start contributing through your work in the society in general. So I'm happy that the world is optimistic about you if you have a right mindset to learn and then start contributing. So but at the same time, are these degrees meaningless? Not so, because there's a particular skill set the academic institutions can teach you, which you can use as a basic point to start. From there to pick the particular field of interest that you want to grow your knowledge in. There are the professors by some of the great universities like U of T or MIT or Stanford and those great institutions is something very rich that these institutions hold, and students can learn from them, from the wisdom that they do share in their lectures or in getting very close to these professors in a one-to-one setting through classes or these through the programs of master's or PhD is something, an added advantage which people having particular degrees could get, or if you get an admit into these universities you can get. So there's a pros and cons on both of the sides, but a right mindset to learn, and at the same time you should have the capability to ask right set of questions to the right set of people, and of course on web to the Google G.
Right. So do you have any future plans on pursuing a PhD maybe after a few years?
As of now, I haven't given a thought. So there's a movie very famous. It's called The Accidental Prime Minister. So rhyming the same, an accidental degree. I won't say that. Not very true. I didn't ever thought that I will be pursuing a master's. When I was pursuing my first love, first job, first company that I was working with back in India. It accidentally happened to me that the situations aroused that I thought of, for getting into the field of data science, maybe having a master's degree is what people recommend. A master's or a PhD is what people recommend in big companies, which pinged me that, hey, even if I transition over here after 2 years into the field of data science, maybe making a next transition will be hard for me because I don't have that a particular degree in the field, which was the time that I started looking at master's program possible, and through some YouTube channel, I got to know that, hey, there are possibilities that you can pursue a degree, a master's degree in the field of data science particularly, and then make a transition into the field of your choice.
Okay.
Or could go into the research field, could go into the engineering or ops field. There are multiple possibilities, and I'm thankful to the MScAC program at U of T itself that this is such a unique way the program is structured, that you can do your courses vis-a-vis you can it's like a loop where you can come from industry and go back to industry within a very short duration of time, and which was the reason that I particularly chose this program to come in, and for the sake of time, it really helped me.
Right. So what do you think is the role of academic knowledge or academic learning versus self-learning in the field of AI, ML, or data science?
Sure. It's a very interesting question, actually. We touched a little around it, that when we were discussing that how important is it to have a degree in the particular field, a master's or a PhD, to enter into the field of data science. And then we discussed a little about how these degrees are even important, and the academic knowledge is important.
Right.
So academic knowledge that you can gain from the courses by pursuing particular course for a while, say for the duration usually, which is 4 or 6 months, could help you to learn to get started in the field, to learn that what happened in the past and how the field is behaving now.
Right.
Of course, having a hands-on through the assignments that these courses do give. But at the same time, I guess in the field, in any field of learning, it's more important that if you learn the things by yourself, which actually helps to consciously put the things in your unconscious memory. When you have something in your unconscious memory, and how to put the things in your unconscious memory is through learning by the self.
Right.
That these are the important things which you think important are important, or you explored uniquely the way you want to explore them.
Right.
And once you have something in your unconscious memory, bringing that back to conscious memory when you are actually showing your skills somewhere, it's way easier than the knowledge brought to you through the particular notes or assignments in your memory.
Right.
So if you learn the things by yourself, you learn better.
Right.
That's what my particular gut feeling is about learning. But at the same time, now, courses are equally important, where I weight self-learning a little more than just pursuing the courses.
Right. I actually stand like on the same side on this one. So it's like, for me also, I kind of spend some time every single day learning something or the other, maybe just 1 or 2 videos on any course that I'm doing, or it could be a YouTube video. And I found that learning things usually like in a structured way, maybe from an online course or from anything, just the only thing is you're learning by yourself. That's the whole thing, right? So once I do that, I kind of feel more confident. I have time to sit in my chair and think about how exactly things are going to work. And yeah.
Yes, very interesting allegory we can talk about here is back in I guess I was, it was the pre-final year of my bachelor's. I was a student at Thapar University back in India, when there was a seminar from a retired professor from IIT Delhi.
Right.
He was probably more than 60, I guess 64 or 65 at his age. He was a retired professor, and this was the time that he was going to different universities just to share his wisdom with others. Once it was a lecture on seminar on support vector machines, which is one of the famous algorithms in field of ML. So after he completed his talk for about an hour, he just engaged with the students present over there, if they have some questions to ask or something. That was the time when he shared that although he's 64 at his age, but still he spends every day around 4 to 6 hours just looking the YouTube videos, what he can learn the best from them by himself. Not reading any literature, not going into the depths or discussions with probably his PhD scholars or someone around him, but just learning by himself through what he can learn through the smart technology that we have as of now.
Right.
That inspired me actually, that self-learning could place you where you want to go, or what you want to learn in the best way possible at your own pace.
Right.
So in the courses, courses are usually time bounded. They will end up in some particular time, by a week or two. You have to submit the assignments. Everyone has a different learning pace.
Right.
My pace might be different from yours, and yours might be different from mine.
Right.
So courses try to equalize everyone at that level, which is the thing I'm not very comfortable with.
Okay.
And I have my own learning pace, and I want to grow my knowledge in that respect.
Right.
So if you're learning by yourself, the topic of your interest, I guess self-learning helps over there.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, we have infinitely more time to stay at that same topic and
Right.
like stay until we are clear.
At time a topic is very clear to you, and you can quickly grab it and
Right.
move on. At time you think of any concept very deeply, and it's upon your it's upon your mind how much you want to go into the depth of it.
Right.
Maybe for something you're very comfortable by learning it at the top. For something you're very interested in learning it into the deep.
Depth.
So you can spend your own time if you're learning at your own pace.
Right. Totally agree. Thanks, Nikhil. So one more question. I didn't have it in my list, but yeah, I'll still ask
Sure.
you. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Like, where do you want to be headed? Maybe it's too early to ask, but still, like.
Sure. I'm just transitioning really my career from where I come from, a software development background, to the area of research, which is still very new to me.
Right.
So as of now, I'm more and more focused on how I can build the best skills of a researcher possible.
Right.
So I'm early in my career, and maybe about 10 years or 5 years down the line, where I see myself transitioning is to more senior and senior roles in the field of technology itself. The particular organizational ladder that probably exist. But yeah, just to grow in this career, and at the same time, maybe 5 years down the line, I wish to have a team of researchers working with me, whom I can guide, and with whom I can brainstorm or
Right.
work together to grow together in the particular arena that I would be in. So that's where I guess I see myself. But at the same time, I want to create an impact as quickly as possible through the field of research, which is a little difficult because research usually takes time to go to the development.
Right.
So if somehow I can bridge that gap, that's what I'm oriented towards.
Right. And I think, yeah, you do have the skill set. You were in the development background. You have both the backgrounds. So yeah, I think, yeah,
Sure.
should be good for you. So thanks, Nikhil.
Thank you so much, Abdul.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Yep, and it's like so nice to have you here. I hope, and I'm pretty sure that the audience would find this really helpful, because I get a lot of questions, asking me about AI, ML, and things like that, and I've kind of lost touch of that for quite some time. And I know that you are the right person, because like from the day we first had a video call, I know that you have been like learning constantly and upskilling yourself, growing in this career. You write so many like beautiful articles on Medium, so I knew that you were the right person to guide these questions towards. And yeah, it was nice having you here. Thanks a lot.
I'm
once
glad
again
to hear that
join.
you have been following that, and it'll be in the good of it'll be good for everyone if they can get inspired from it, and if it could help them to learn more about the field of AI.
Yeah, I would highly recommend like-minded individuals to join his community on Medium and
Sure.
read his articles. I am sure that you'll learn a lot of things, because yeah, he's like the master in this field.